First time in a long time, but back like I never left. Taking each day as it comes, you know me, I don't read ahead. Watch me burn down everything, BDE on the TV set. When I'm in control on the road, you can never really know what's up next.
Hello.
Hello.
Braden Herrington here with Davie Portman for Up Next. You found us at postwrestling.com or Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever it is you're using right now. And it is Tuesday night, which means
we are live on youtube.com/postwrestling. Hello, YouTube room. How are we doing?
Hello, all the postmarks, all the poison pals, and more importantly, it's Tuesday, which means hello, NXT friends. We getting that In-Betweeners movie?
It looks that way, doesn't it?
We're gonna hear that.
Very excited.
People will finally realize where we've been stealing that joke from. If people check the new movie out, but good show and some good movies, but maybe a new one. Hello, friends. We are Braden and Davie. We are Up Next. We are also known as Poisonrana, the podcast. Search us while you're listening right now in your Insta, Spotify, YouTube, and give us a follow and check out all the other stuff that we do. But on Tuesdays here at Post Wrestling, we talk about NXT, and it's a big one. It's a big NXT tonight.
This was the Raw after WrestleMania NXT episode. It felt like, right? Like just chaos. It's a new chapter, fresh stories, fresh characters. And I felt maybe watching this show a bit like, one of those fans who watches just main roster WWE and doesn't know anything else outside. And someone will debut a Ethan Page or a Sol Ruka, and you're going, who's this person? A lot of that tonight. But you know what? I find it kind of fun, these sort of episodes where it's just chaos and it's a new season of NXT, if you will.
It's a new era of NXT. It did feel like it. You know what? I think some of the criticism we have had over, I'd say 6 months, I'd say 2, maybe even a year, is everyone always talks about NXT and the women's division, but if you've listened to us, we're pretty critical of the men's division in the last year. It's like it feels like we've had, the same rotation of some people, and then they've gone, and then we insert people, but it's never feeling, packed. It's never feeling that there's a lot going on. It feels like it's a bit of a shallow male roster. And finally tonight, in one episode, it feels like we've debuted like 12 new people in one show. And you know what? It's a bit of a crazy episode. And I could say this might not be an episode for everyone, but at least it's like, hey, here's a shot in the arm. Oh, hey, here's another one. Here's another one. It may have been a bit too much and a bit repetitive, but you know what? I think I'm for it. It's what we've been asking for. It's what the people want.
I mean, honestly, they needed to. They've lost in the last 6 months to a year. They've lost Trick Williams, Obafemi, Javon Evans, Joe Hendry, Ethan Page, Ricky Saints. That has really left us with just Myles, Borne, and Tony D'Angelo, who've been in that upper mix. And they're both Tony finally the NXT champion, but it left it like completely desecrated this roster. So, but in a good way, because now we need fresh blood. We need to see who's going to step up. There was a time when an Obafemi and a Trick Williams debuted, and we were like, who is this? And look at them now. So yeah, I'm all for the change.
A lot of debuts tonight that we will go through as we talk about tonight's episode of NXT. And I guess the big one being NXT is evil, or sinister, or something along those lines. NXT is good.
It's a shame they couldn't make this work in time for New Year's Evil at the beginning of the year, because it would have made a bit more sense. But yes, we'll see. They did the the old trick they did with both Blake Monroe and Ricky Saints, where they come in and it's, oh my, the rumors are true. It's the former IWGP champion.
Wow.
We don't know his name, but yes, he's here. Very much that kind of debut. We don't know who he is yet, what he's going to go by, but yes, we'll all get into that, into the bulk of the NXT review.
I think the one online for like, time ago, people were like, okay, Sinister is maybe the name, not Mr. Sinister. That's already a wrestling name. He could get him to manage him, maybe, possibly. But Sinister, what else could it be? Evil, mean, malicious,
bad.
Now we're just describing his matches, but wait till you see in NXT. We will get into his debut, but again, fresh faces on the show, and that's what this show is about. So earlier today, NXT they posted on their social media like a video, which they started the show with. So we will get into it, but it kind of tipped me and you off as we usually prep for like our show, where we're like, all right, let's type out the description, see what's advertised for tonight, and kind of speculate on what's going to happen. And you were saying like, hey, I'm feeling there's going to be a debut or something tonight. And I think that we both had that. And then we saw that video and we're like, oh, there's probably going to be like 1 or 2 debuts. And like I said, there was like 12. So yeah, big shift in the world of NXT tonight.
Yeah, I did a show. Normally we go live every Sunday with Poisonrana Live. If you haven't liked and subscribed yet, please do. We're live on YouTube, or you can find Poisonrana wherever you get your podcasts. We kind of talk about all the week in pro wrestling, AEW Dynamite, SmackDown, any news coming out. Obviously, we just had the recent WWE cuts, releases, and main roster call-ups, and I'm sure people would like to hear your thoughts on that, Braden, in a second. But yeah, I was joined by Benno this weekend from Grapple, and we were talking about Evil because the rumors started to get a bit hotter. Like obviously he left New Japan in January. It was expected him coming to WWE. We heard reports that he's been requesting to start in NXT because wants to get used to, like, I guess, the American way. But we talked about him potentially coming into NXT. Didn't really expect it as soon as today. But I think when they tweeted out that graphic of who will Tony D'Angelo's next challenger be, it's like, okay, well, it would make sense for him to, especially with all the call-ups, to have a big debut on this episode.
Yeah, I got to shout out Benno from Grapple. Always fun hearing his voice and hearing you two talk about all the big things. It was a busy week for me. It was my girlfriend's birthday, so I was like, I'll take the week off. Like, nothing. It's post WrestleMania, nothing will happen. And then of course it's like the release day of sorts that everyone was always like, oh, the WWE is letting all these people go and whatnot. So thanks, Benno, and I'm looking for. We need to do a show again with him down the line because it was great. Benno's soothing voice reminds me of Neil Buchanan from Art Attack. Are they from the same place, or am I just like putting all British accents? Is Neil Buchanan like a Liverpool?
Wait,
what's a Liverpool?
He is Liverpool, isn't he? Yeah.
See, I know my
shit.
shit.
He is.
Hanging out with
we
a Brit
talked about this recently, didn't we? Yeah. From Aintree. I'm
close enough.
Okay.
I don't know, but it was awesome.
Yeah, Merseyside. It's pretty much like 5 miles from Liverpool.
Look at that. So, yeah. I know my shit.
Yeah.
See, I know British culture. I know I recently got some Spice Girl stickers, retro nostalgia. I know my British shit. It was great hearing you guys chop it up. And of course, if you don't know Grapple, check out their stuff from across the pond. Benno and all the lads always putting out great content. So it's always fun having a bit of crossover there with a bit of YouTube. But yeah, tons of stuff this week in the world of wrestling. We do usually go live Sunday. I know you went live on Sunday. This upcoming Sunday is a busy one, so we cannot promise that we'll go live because we are putting our bodies through the ultimate test. And this is not just me and you, but this is a post-wrestling climb to save the animals. Please go to postwrestling.com/climb. That will redirect you to the WWF Climb for Nature 2026. And John Pollock, Wei Ting, Davie Portman, Braden Herrington, Jack Wannon, and Jesse from the Six We are all climbing the CN Tower, and we are taking your donations to save the animals, including the frogs, including the lions, the gorillas, even the ugly animals. We are saving this Sunday, and we might be cooked by the time this happens in the morning, so we might not do a show. We're gonna try to record a little sneaky something. I'm sure if John and Way listen to this, they're gonna be like, oh boy, but we're gonna try to record something after, maybe a Snap Rana on the free feed or something. But
yeah, this is the third time we've done this, and I think in the past we've been like, oh, it's, the climb's only at 8 a.m. That's plenty of time for us to go back and record. And then we realize we're kind of exhausted. We need a lot of carbs after our big walk, and then those carbs turn into beers as well. So we don't want to guarantee anything. I'm having a few little personal changes at the moment, schedule wise. So we're hoping to maybe put something out on Monday, but to be confirmed. If we end up missing this week, I hope you forgive us. It's for the pandas.
It's for all the pandas. Yes, get the F in. And for the WWF, we will be climbing the CN Tower. This is our third time. I was feeling a bit nervous this week, and Way put it into perspective. Hey, I'm not looking to beat a score from 2 years ago, because I most definitely will not. And that helped me reassure myself. I think I'll beat my first year, but ain't no way I'm beating. I think I did 29 last year.
Okay.
And I did 33 the first years. And yours was, what was yours? Yours was way better.
I think I was 1650 last
Whoa.
time. And I'm, I was getting in shape for my trip. I wanted to be a bit beach bod ready. So I feel in a good place. But my training's definitely been different from the last few years I've done it. So I do remember my condo stairs are, and I think you remember this, are steeper than the actual CN Tower ones. So they're good practice, because it's tough. No. Like I find climbing my condo steps pretty tough. But I do want to beat my time. I'm feeling competitive, and I do want to know that now in my late 30s that I'm healthier than I was 2 years ago.
Mid-30s, mate. You're mid-30s. I feel like you will. The only competition is Jesse from the 6, but because I know he really fucking loves animals more than we do, and because he doesn't like it when we eat Doritos, save the orangutans. But also, I know he's been treating, like he's told us he's been training for weeks now. So I wonder if he's going to get the best score. However, entering the chat is Jack Wannon, because he's the new, we've heard him fill in. He's the young pup. He's Jack
unknown entity.
Yeah, we don't know if this guy, I don't know if this guy is about climbing a lot of stairs, but the CN Tower, the big tower in the middle of our city, downtown, we're going to be climbing that. And then when we get to the top, we get a nice view of the city and some lovely water. And then we get photos with a panda or something. But very excited to do this climb again for the animals.
I wonder if we're going to have a photo with some random gentleman who just will refuse to leave our photograph.
Some guy joined in on the photo. Yeah, that was great. I'm looking forward to. I might die. I'm going to take like 3 inhalers before doing this, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's for the animals. So postwrestling.com/climb takes you to donate. Anything counts. $5, $10, whatever. It goes hard. We've had some crazy. I want to thank anyone who's listening. We've already crushed what we are looking to do. But
shout out to Kenny, who pushed us over the goal today with a very generous donation. So thank you, Kenny. Wherever you may be, thank you everyone who's donated. No matter how much it is, every little helps. So it means a lot, and thank you for having us achieve our goal again.
Absolutely. Looking forward to this Sunday. So we'll hopefully have a good climb. It's all about the climb. We're doing it for the animals. We have a ton of other stuff going on. We have our own podcast. You mentioned you had Benno from Grapple on this Sunday. We have a Patreon as well, patreon.com/PoisonRana. We have tons of shows in the back catalog, including tons of retro wrestling reviews. We do a show called Was Next, where we've been going back through the black and gold era of NXT for you real NXT fans out there. And we just released an episode today covering the July 17th, 2014 edition of NXT, featuring a great Canadian showdown of Tyson Kidd, recently turned heel, against Sami Zayn in a bit of a grudge match, which was an awesome little main event there, actually. We also had Sasha Banks versus Alexa Bliss, talking about old school NXT. What is it? Charlotte versus Summer Rae.
That's coming up. Yeah, that'll be on the next episode for the women's championship. We have the Vaudevillains taking on a returning Enzo and Cass.
Yeah, forgot Enzo and Cass. Enzo from his foam party injury. For those who remember the foam part.
And we have a little bit on our show where we go back and see what we were getting up to on the date of that NXT, all those 12 years ago. And this might be one of the funnier Twitter discoveries. A couple of things, like involving one of our listeners, Sam, educating us what the Sasha's Ratchet chant means, and me just shitting on my mum.
So every time we go back, we try to look at like what was going on, and we dig up each other's old tweets from these old NXT episodes. And Davie I found this one that was just shocking, so I printed it out, and hopefully I can show your mom this summer. She might disown you. So what's next? A show you cannot miss, where we cover old NXT, but also everything else that was going on from 2014 is where we are there. We have a show called Up Yours, where World Champ family members pick stuff. And Brandon from New Jersey has selected what? What has he selected?
Talons of the Eagle.
Talons of the Eagle.
Yes.
Okay. I guess he heard my the martial arts review, the action movie review with Graham, and now he wants to see some more fighting. So Billy Blanks, Jalal Merhi, and James Hong. Okay, wait a second. Is this the Canadian movie? I think this is.
It is.
Oh shit!
Yes.
I didn't realize this.
When I revealed to my roommate today that I'll be reviewing this movie, because I know he likes his his kung fu movies and stuff. He actually is friends with Jalal Merhi on Facebook. Because he met him at a screening of one of his movies once. So have tried to get him on the show, but no response quite yet.
Billy Blanks, is that not Tybo? Like the athletic? Does that mean anything to you?
It means nothing to me, no.
The photo I'm seeing, I'm like, that's Tybo, right? So Brandon from New Jersey never disappoints, and he's picked what I'm sure will be a movie Davie loves about fighting and whatnot. So we're recording that tomorrow. So some crazy stuff on our Patreon. Recently reviewed WrestleMania 17. We've done tons of other wrestling. Check us out. It's $5. You want to support and donate to the animals, you can at postwrestling.com/climb. But you want to support us personally after putting our bodies through such a hellacious CN Tower climb, patreon.com/poisonrana. $5 a month. That $5 will buy us our victory beers this Sunday. So not only are you saving the animals, but you're saving us, because we're animals too. Okay. So support us and buy yourself some podcasts.
Absolutely. Very much looking forward to this. Braden, have you done your taxes yet?
I did the other day, actually.
Oh,
check you because I keep hearing that fucking WWE commercial where Penta and Stephanie Vickers and LA Knight are singing.
About doing our taxes, yes.
Doing taxes and
yes. Well, that's a final reminder to everyone. Do your taxes. I got mine done today. I'm always chuffed afterwards. I put it off, and then I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. So yeah, good stuff. But yeah,
well, it's almost the first of the month too. So get your rent ready, everybody. Okay.
Yes.
In a few days there. It's May.
It is. I can't
believe
it.
May.
I can't believe. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then like before the wrestling talk, I feel like I'm about to pour one out for some WWE talent that have been let go. But I feel like it's an end of an era on a personal note for you this week.
It is, yeah. I'm going to be having my last shift at the bar I've been working at for the last 10 years. I literally this week celebrated my 10-year anniversary, my canniversary, 10 years in this great country. And yeah, I'll be having my last shift at my bar this Saturday night. So, if you are in the Toronto area, come by, swing by Gabby, say hello. and
never go there again afterwards.
I won't give much of a fuck, to be honest. So yeah, come on by.
End of an era. If you've been in the Toronto, if you come to any of our events, I know we've been doing them at the National, which have been awesome, but we've done tons of wrestling events at Gabby's on King Street West. You've been working there, you said, like 10 years going on, and it's an end of an era. So I'm sure Davey, you'll find Davey slinging some drinks and some bars coming soon in the city of Toronto. But yeah, wow, end of an era. I guess I won't go there again. I think a bunch of our friends are now like, we're done with them. Boycott.
Yeah.
But people have been listening to this show. Like, people have come in to the bar because you've openly for you said you've been in Canada for a few years. We've been doing this show for many years. And over the years, if you've listened, you've heard Davey say like, hey, I work at this bar. Feel free to, if you ever come by and whatnot. And tons of people have come to the bar to say hi. It's been almost like a landmark in a weird way, right? Like, people come to see, oh, I know this podcast house also works. And then it's like, oh, a cool bar. So I'm sure there'll be a new landmark added soon to the world of upNXT and Poisonrana.
Yes, I do already have another job. I've also got some other interviews lined up, so I'll be all right. But yeah, big change, some big changes coming, and hopefully it's for a good thing. 10 years is too long at one place anyway. So
that's right.
Yeah, as we see with all the WWE releases, hopefully it means they can move on to bigger and better things for a lot of them. Unless you're Luca Crucifino, who's saying I'm done. So pour one out for Luca.
So what we're also reminding you is patreon.com/Poisonrana. You want to keep the podcast going, $5 to buy us a beer and help us out. Keep doing this thing. But now let's talk about people who've lost their jobs as well.
Yes.
More people who've lost their jobs. Big set of releases. And I know the big one that seems to have everyone talking, and I knew would affect my friend so personally. And I have to ask, Davey, how are you doing after Trill London has been released from the WWE?
You took exactly the same joke I did on Sunday with Benno, but gutted, man. Like, former Miami Dolphin there. Like, the sky was the limit. But, yeah, apparently. I don't know. Learned that on Sunday. But yes, Trill London gone. Along with, it's weird because there's obviously like the new season of LFG has all been filmed, and a bunch of these people have already been released who are on this season coming up. I know.
I guess they don't win. I guess they did win. Kind of like American Idol. Even if you win this show, it's like, it's like Tough Enough. Even some of the winners of that show,
Yeah.
Miz was second place, and look, he did.
That is true.
Daniel Puder, not so much. But yeah, Kairi Sane, that's the big one. I know she's been gone from WWE, then she came back. I know there was injuries and all that kind of stuff. So I still think this is the big one, considering she's on TV quite often, and she's still what seems like in the middle of a storyline. So that one's definitely the one right away that jumps out like, oh, that's strange. So definitely, like, maybe it's a personal choice where she wanted to leave. I'm not sure, but the internet seems to be like, oh, wow, Kairi Sane, how could this happen? But I don't know. Like, maybe this is something they just decided we don't see something bigger or bigger plans or creative down the line. I'm not quite sure at this time, but yeah, like that's definitely a strange one.
Yeah, I said this on Sunday, so apologies to people that listen to that show, but I just find it baffling. Like, when you release someone mid-story, and remember these releases, they have like 90 days non-compete. That means they're being paid by the company for 90 days. Any other show on TV, if you go like, you know what, we're killing off your character, it's not just you don't show up anymore to work, is it? It's we're going to write you out. And I just find it weird the way they do it this way, where no, mid-storyline, we're going to pay you to sit at home. It's really strange. And I think Kairi, since coming back from her hiatus with WWE, hasn't quite been the same. She has been a little off. I think there's been moments where she's looked great. She's barely had any singles matches or any meaningful feuds. And this has really been the biggest story she's had and kind of almost looked like to be the one who might break out in this story, just from the bullying angle from Asuka and all of that. So it is really odd. And but yeah, what do you make of it, and what do you see for Kairi coming out of this?
Yeah, maybe she takes a little break from wrestling. Maybe she does some stuff in Japan. Maybe we get a one-off appearance on AEW or something along those lines. I'm not quite sure. I know since the coming back, it did feel different. It felt like maybe she wasn't wrestling the same way or whatever. But I don't know. I don't think it's over for her in the world of wrestling. Another big one, Motor City Machine Guns. Like thinking back to just what felt like a year or two ago when we thought that they were going to show up in AEW, and then they surprisingly took the WWE route, and it felt like a cool thing at the moment, and then it felt a little rocky. I remember being really hyped for the Guns versus DIY. Was it the Royal Rumble last year? And it just kind of was there. It wasn't really like what I maybe thought it was going to be. And I think a lot of people were on the same page. But then they had some awesome stuff with the SmackDown, the SummerSlam ladder match, or that SmackDown
TLC
ladder match. Yeah. It was really cool to have them in WWE after being a fan of them for so long. And then the tag division just kind of fell apart, and they had all these tag teams and they didn't know what to do with it. And then this. So like, I guess AEW is the direction. I see there's a Dynamite announced in July in Detroit. 90 days.
Yeah.
From now, that's definitely something I could see happening.
I think that's the landing spot for Motor City Machine Guns. It seemed like they were close to signing there before they signed with WWE a year or so ago. And I'd put Kairi in that conversation as well. If she wants to stay in North America, if she doesn't want to go back to Japan, AEW, I think she'd fit in great there. Or even, there's more of a opportunity in AEW to kind of do both, dual contracts and all that sort of thing. So those, I'm not saying every single person's going to go to AEW, but I could definitely see those three going. But I feel like, you've got talent like the Motor City Machine Guns, and even, I know not necessarily our cup of tea, but the Wyatt Six, who came in with so much buzz and hype, and like the vignettes were cool and their debut was cool. I feel it's creative letting these people down. It's not the wrestlers. Fire the fucking creatives. Get rid of Bruce Pritchard. Get rid of Michael Hayes, because your SmackDown tag roster consisted of Machine Guns, DIY, Fraxium, Street Profits, to a certain extent, Guerrillas of Destiny, and Wyatt Six. And none of them have done fucking anything.
Yeah, no. The Wyatt Six. I know the whole spooky stuff in wrestling. I like it. I like the idea of it, but I felt like it wasn't for me even at the beginning. I know people were kind of like, "Oh, this is so cool." It's a tribute to Bray, and that's why I think it connected with people. And just like Bray, they then ran out of juice of like what else to do with them, right?
I think it being a tribute, and also sort of them when they started, they weren't supernatural beings. They were like, they're just
killing people.
The masks they put on to protect themselves because they've gone through trauma in life, and they're all connected to Bray Wyatt in one way or the other. That very quickly ran its course, and its writers going, all right, let's go back to the well. They're spooky. Why?
Walmart
I don't know.
lantern. Yeah.
I don't know. They're just spooky, and they fight over this lantern.
I
feel it's creative letting so many of these talents down.
You know what they say, love is blind and the grass is greener on the other side. Still an underrated wrestling banger that we never got on the main roster, Joe Gacy. I feel like he's someone who could land on his feet. We used to give him shit when he was the woke character, but I kind of genuinely root for him, and I kind of want him to I feel like he'll maybe reinvent himself. Maybe some of them will stick together and continue this gimmick. TNA definitely speaks. They could be a landing place. For
him and Dexter, I could see sticking as a tag
back
team.
To TNA for Dexter.
TNA Indies, I definitely see a good indie run for Joe Gacy.
Yeah,
GCW, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Yeah, go back to hardcore matches and stuff, and in clown makeup or whatever. But another big one, which I listened to you and Benno. That's why I knew I was going to hit you with your own Trill London joke. But honestly, the thing that made me, and I'm these are people, we're talking about wrestlers, and I'm, you will see who actually cares about the world of wrestling and who continues and goes off to continue wrestling, or who leaves. And people have already posted like, hey, I'm done with wrestling and that's it and whatnot. I'm not poking fun at people losing their jobs and this and that, but hopefully all these people land on their feet and keep entertaining if that's what they choose to do. But there was one that genuinely made me laugh when I thought it was fake. I thought it was fake news when I saw that Aleister Black was released from WWE. I'm sorry. Like, I have been a huge fan of this guy. Many times watched his matches and had some cool moments in the world of wrestling. Think back to NXT, some stuff in AEW, the Indies as well. Like, he's been great. But then the stuff with AEW, where then he left and then he went to WWE and then he was saying some things and he has issues with people reporting what seems like factual information. And then all that just to be released again. And the thing that makes me laugh is instantly seeing AEW talent saying, we don't want them. They're not welcome back here, meaning him. And I'm assuming, I guess, his wife, Zelina. So he is someone who I do not see going back to AEW. I'm sure maybe one day there could be something, but I feel like he has maybe screwed the pooch on that one. And I don't want to see him in AEW at this point. I just think this guy has rubbed fans the wrong way with the way himself and both Zelina have spoken in, whether it's Twitch streams or interviews or whatnot. They just come across so unlikable, and I guess they couldn't find something for him this WrestleMania, and they decided to just let him go. So kind of funny, unfortunately. Looking at this, from just looking at this from afar, it's comedy. It's hilarious that this has kind of happened. So
I mean, he is very talented. Like, if there was a conversation with Tony Khan, like, I can imagine it being like, well, I paid you this last time. I'm not paying you this much. And this time you do what the fuck I tell you to do. And you show up to work.
Get pinned once.
And if there's that, if he's coming with his tail between his legs and kind of realizes he's got to eat some shit to be there, maybe. I don't know where I see them ending up, though, if it's not the two main companies, because they clearly have very high opinions of themselves, which is good. Like, know your worth, know your value, but they seem a little inflated, in my opinion.
Yes.
And like, is an Aleister Black gonna want to work for an MLW or a TNA?
Like I feel he could be the big fish in TNA. He could be the world champion right away.
Yeah.
So
maybe he would fit. It's definitely an interesting one to watch. I feel, and it depends on travel or stuff. The most interesting thing would be for him to go to Japan and have a run there, because they still need, like NXT, they need men New Japan is all men, but they need men, like top stars, and maybe that will be a interesting fresh coat of paint. But I don't really see that either. So he's definitely an interesting one to watch out.
Okay, you know what? New Japan. Now, I know they got a lot of gaijins right now. They got a lot of white boys running around in New Japan, but with tattoos. So he'll be fine. They just got to make sure they get the tattoo-friendly onsens. Trust me, I've been there. Make sure you book it. I feel like that's actually a smart place for him to go, would be Japan. Because, again, you'd be a big fish. Think, right now, indies. Take a look at WrestleMania weekend with the independents. Independents aren't what it was, because if you get a little bit of steam, a little bit of flash, you get signed somewhere instantly of the one or two big ones. So the indies seem to still have that missing things for the last few years, since AEW really. And him going to do indie dates or do Japan dates, that's again a big fish in a small pond. So he'll be the guy essentially. If
you got to grow your stock again, basically.
Yeah,
don't you?
Yeah. You got to.
You're going on. You're doing. doing what you're told and you're putting on good matches and you reinvent yourself a little bit, maybe one of the big two will come back to you.
Yeah. Like, look at Andrade.
Oh,
like, that comeback is amazing. So it's not the end for Aleister Black or Tommy End, I guess. But I think like a rebrand or like TNA or something is probably where he's going. There's tons of other ones. I know we're NXT focused on Tuesday nights here at Post Wrestling. So, I mean, a big one for us personally is Andre Chase. I mean,
did somebody say Andre Chase?
I mean, like, the guy had a fake university gimmick, and then him and Duke somehow got over, and then they somehow shit the bed. They sacrificed Chase U to get what's his face, Ridge the Fridge over, and look how that worked out. And I guess we get Chase U reunited on the indies, right? Like Duke, I guess you could call it Duke University.
Yeah.
that one's taken. But
Duke Hudson hasn't done quite as much as I thought he would do since leaving. You know, he was creating all those videos and stuff, but he hasn't been a name that I've seen appearing in. I mean, he's had he's had 8 matches since leaving WWE.
Right, not a lot.
And he left in 2024. So I was big fan of them as a tag team, and maybe you could reunite them. Andre Chase, I think they were either going to move the whole group up to the main roster and give it a go, or they weren't. And I feel the writing's been on the wall for a while since the universities kind of, it was just him and Kale left, wasn't it? So yeah, I thought he was a weird signing in the first place. Like, didn't really seem like a fit for WWE, but made for some really memorable TV in NXT.
He did. He you know, either he beat us into submission, but he really went with that gimmick. So I got to give him credit. Like, I think they dropped the ball with that team because they got over organically in the PC, in the Full Sail or PC, and then like when they did the PLEs, they were popular. Like here at that Heatwave show, it's what seemed like the hottest part of the show.
That tag match was great.
So, yeah, I just feel like, sure, it was a university gimmick, but Chase and Duke together, given any sort of silly gimmick, would have worked.
Yeah,
and I just think they maybe missed the ball on that one. But
Sino in the chat suggesting Harlem University, of course, the former Harlem Bravado.
Hello, Sino. What's going on? Shout out Sino Evil. Yes, there were so many that like have come through that we've talked about in NXT, like Nikki Cross, Alba Fire. I know we've watched them in the independents before, but there's some you could see showing up in, you know, like a Collision or something, or TNA or down the line. But
a casino gauntlet in Wembley.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like not necessarily signing, but what's cool with AEW is they do those one shots, don't they, as well? So
yeah,
like trial contracts almost. So could see either or both of them showing up on that Wembley show.
Like lots of TNA talent, NXT talent from over the years. Apollo Crews, I couldn't believe that he was actually still employed for 10 years. That's crazy. He was always just fine, but I don't know. Remember when he was trying to see the future? Remember he was looking at his coffee or something?
A bit of charisma vacuum, wasn't he? Like he seemed like a nice guy, was a good wrestler. Like I used to watch him a lot at Preston City Wrestling back home before he signed with WWE. It was great, but just not the most charismatic guy, or at least it didn't come across in WWE.
Just they gave him the "That's So Raven" gimmick, like in the twilight of his WWE career, which was just bizarre. We had Santos Escobar. He's always been good too. I think he definitely shined the most in NXT with that Phantom Mask gimmick, but I don't know. I felt like he had the LWO. He got over and made some money, I'm sure. So he's easily someone who could show up in CMLL and some indies and stuff like that. Maybe Mexico, obviously, but Japan as well. I liked him better as the Phantom gimmick. Let's go back to that. Let's focus on the Phantom.
Phantasma, El Hijo de Phantasma.
Yeah. Another one, Zoe Stark. They kind of didn't really do a whole lot with her. We watched her in NXT. She put on some good matches, but we never really saw like a whole lot.
before her injury, she was in that team with both Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, and both of them were released. And I kind of think maybe they didn't release her at that time because she was just recently injured. But it kind of, I'm not surprised, but it does kind of suck. She was just healthy again and off the shelf, and now she's gone. But when you see the women coming through NXT and stuff, Zoe was good in ring, but her promos were never up to much. And I think if there was a big return of Zoe Stark, I don't think it would have made as much an impact as calling up some of these girls from NXT. So it's harsh, but I'm not shocked with that.
Malik Blade, he was someone with Idris. Now, Idris was gone a while back, right? We haven't heard about him in a while. So another missed opportunity. I like those two guys together as a tag team until Booker T came in and just shit on them, and then they kind of disappeared. So that was always weird. I thought Malik and Idris were pretty decent. And then, oh, man, I've been waiting for the debut of the new fuckboy gimmick of Luca Crucifino on NXT. And unfortunately, we're never going to see it. So you just got to watch the promos from Evolve. But the lawyer has retired from wrestling. He has since posted that he's no longer going to be in the world of pro wrestling. So yeah, pour one out for Luca Crucifino. And a lot of these guys, there's a few more. Tyra May Steele, we saw some of her in NXT. I know she had the gold, not the gold medal. Was she gold medal? Was she?
She's an Olympian for sure.
Olympian, right? Yeah,
and
she was Olympian.
I think she was a gold medalist. Yeah.
Right.
But also winning LFG as well. So just like the Olympians, you would have thought they'd have kept around a bit more. And maybe that is her opinion. But it was weird because she put out that tweet only a month or so ago where she had a dream about being released. You know, yeah, she won the gold in the Tokyo Olympics. So yeah, just a little weird, that one. Yeah, not sure.
Yeah. Well, pour one out for a lot of these people. You know, I'm sure, again, the people who want to continue in the world of wrestling, you will still see pop up in some way, shape, or form. And like Luca Crucifino, maybe you're just like, this isn't for me, and I'm not going to be doing this kind of stuff going forward, which we do see from people who leave NXT and so forth. But yeah, crazy time. Do you see more happening? I feel like there's going to be some.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are some more. Yeah, Sino reminding us that Carly Bright also announced her release shortly after all the other releases. She's someone we saw. She's on the current season of LFG, and we saw glimpses of. She had that little tag team with Kendall, didn't she? Like they look quite alike. But yeah, like there are other people in NXT that I question who have been there a long time, and there doesn't seem to be any look at calling them up, and they're not even on NXT that much anymore, where I wonder if we're going to have some more cuts coming up soon.
I think so. It's good. It's good. Like tonight's episode, you're seeing all these new people and debuts, and it seems like they're going to a route of like, hey, we've just signed these people. Cool. Let's put them on TV. If they're ready, if they're like volleyball players and whatnot, maybe not so much. But if they come from wrestling background, which a lot of these people, the new signings, like look at your Vandy projects or some of the people that debuted tonight, like they come from other places. So they bring them and put them on TV like pretty quickly. So I like that. So if that's the case, then hey, all for like getting rid of people that you're not using, right? Like we see this in sports teams and stuff. Like it's just the way of.
Yeah, normally you honor a contract, though. I think that's the big issue.
True.
Still.
Right.
Let people see out their contracts. But yeah, we've been through all that many times. This happens twice a year, usually. Like so.
Well, I just watched the Hulk Hogan Netflix documentary series today, and it's funny because they didn't talk about not unification, unions. Yeah, Union. I didn't hear any talk about unions. In that because it never happened and maybe it should have in the world of wrestling, but yeah,
damn Hulk Hogan. What are your thoughts? So we've done the releases. What are your thoughts of some of the like NXT call-ups? You know, we mentioned a bunch of people going to the main roster, and has left a big hole in NXT. But what did you make? Did you get to catch any of the call-ups? Obviously, we're still waiting on like Blake Monroe and Ricky Saints to move up, but they've been announced as well. Any thoughts on them?
I feel like it's all the people I said that I feel like should move up. Ethan Page easily #1 draft pick, and that was like last week. But I said I wouldn't be shocked if Ricky wasn't far behind. So then seeing that they did the thing hyping him, that he will be showing up there too. And then also I feel like I changed my tune on Blake Monroe. I was like, well, she's done in NXT. Just see what she can do on the main roster. And then I was a bit surprised that showed up there too. So I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I feel like also last week we both talked ourselves into like, you know what, JC's done. Do we move her up with just Fallon? Because we like Fallon a lot. Do we do a tag team? Do we do the three of them? Like we were like, we should move JC up no matter what. And then she gets a big moment on SmackDown. Well, with Fatal Influence. So like,
I mean, possibly
cool.
One of the best call-ups ever. Like really, like that surprising. But I thought that was something they did really well. Just interrupting that match that I think the people in attendance were pretty pumped for. You know, Paige's return and all that. Just giving them huge heat. And as soon as you saw the three of them out together, you're like, yes, this is how it should be. Like it's going to be beneficial for all of them as a unit on the main roster. I
bet Jasmine Nix is kicking herself while she's kicking some soccer balls on TikTok or something. Because, Lainey Reed definitely seemed to be one of the newer people on NXT, but her wrestling has definitely been impressive. So she fits in. Like I think I joked weeks ago saying like she's kind of been wrestling better than some of the people I see on the main roster. So if anyone questions, does she belong? I kind of would say yeah. And it's cool to see that all three of them showed up on SmackDown, and that's great for JC and the three of them, because then eventually you can do the Fallon thing. You know, don't waste the Fallon turn and story in NXT. Do it on the main roster. With as soon as people see Fallon with the Kid Rock style fur coat and the cowboy hat, money. If there's rumors of a WrestleMania Nashville in like a few years, by then Fallon will be a star. It'll be huge. Right. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, I kind of all the call-ups that those ones are the ones in my head that I was like, that would make sense. So it's like I've been watching this show for way too many years. But yeah, it really, really cool to see all of them. And I think the one so far, it's so good. And I think Ricky and Blake also might leave a good impression on WWE fans on the main roster. So yeah, pretty cool.
Anything else in the world of wrestling before we get into some NXT?
Yeah, I did watch the Hulk Hogan documentary. I didn't watch the Shawn Michaels one, but we don't have Peacock in Canada. But I'm sure I can find ways to watch wrestling, wink, wink, in other ways. But I will check it out eventually. The Hogan one interested me because it's Netflix, and it felt like the McMahon when that came out, the documentary. So I had some time over yesterday and today where I watched it. It was an episode. So it's kind of a big fluff piece, and then it's a big old jerk off session for Hulk Hogan, but I still enjoyed it. You know, I was at one point, I'm sure, a Hogan fan, and then I was definitely not. And then he passes away, and I'm sure everyone has their kind of two sides of the coin when it comes to the Hulk Hogan fandom and whatnot, and the actual person, etc., art and the artist, etc. But I still enjoyed watching it. Like same with the McMahon one. Like I still enjoy watching. I like documentaries anyways. The only thing is they should start getting David Attenborough to do my wrestling documentary series, like Dark Side of the Ring, but it's David Attenborough, because I also watch those kinds of documentaries and true crime and stuff. So even though most of this was a big circle jerk for Hulk Hogan, including fucking Trump in there, I still like enjoyed watching it and hearing the stories, and especially his upbringing and everything. So I still liked it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I've got about 30 minutes left of the last episode.
Okay.
I enjoyed it. I'm like you. Any wrestling doc, I tend to get into it, but this felt a bit more like an A&E documentary than the McMahon one. I feel it's a little too fluffy, and I think if you know your wrestling, it's not necessarily teaching you anything new. Whereas I thought with the McMahon documentary, the bits I found interesting were like interviews with Shane McMahon and stuff like that. And where you really, you know, there's things we've suspected over the years about their relationship, but really hearing from his mouth about the eagerness to make his father proud and that sort of stuff. I thought that was pretty interesting. And, I've got half an hour left and they haven't really touched on any of the controversies, barring his marriage so far. So it feels a little lighter. And I thought the giveaway for me was when they were advertising it on WWE TV, because they did not advertise that McMahon documentary at all.
Like, I think the one thing I didn't get enough out of it, and reminds me of like why maybe I don't like him too much, or people don't, is you still haven't finished the last episode, but it didn't do enough. And I felt like when it happened with the controversy of him being caught saying some things he shouldn't have said, and his was like, well, I come from a different time, yada yada yada, and I don't know, still not owning up to it. And this documentary just kind of skims over it. You know what? I enjoyed watching this, but to me, the editors are cowards for not playing the clip. You're going to do a whole documentary, fucking play the clip then.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I really love this show, but I came out of it. I thought it was pathetic that they didn't even play a snippet of the audio. Maybe it has something to do with legal stuff, but like they skim over that very quickly and just go, people make mistakes. And it's like, well, hold on. Can you at least apologize for your mistakes? Because it doesn't seem or come across that he did. And that's an issue I had.
From what I've heard, it's kind of justifying the booze at that Raw on Netflix debut as, because he was, at the Republican party thing and all that. And you go, I think it's more than that. And RYN saying it's not supposed to be a hit piece. Not necessarily a hit piece, but that's the big part of the last decade of his life. Why was Hulk Hogan not regularly on WWE TV? He's arguably, I don't want to get into it because Meltzer's been getting into it all week, but arguably the most famous wrestler of all time.
For sure.
Like, contracted by WWE. Why is he not on TV? Why is he trying to shill shitty beer instead? It's because of that stuff. It's because of the controversies that happen. So, yeah, it might not be an entire hit piece, but you do have to, like, tell the story, warts and all. And I think the problem is when you've got WWE being involved, it's not going to be an honest documentary as much as the filmmakers want it to be. It's that sort of stuff, because even in death, Hulk Hogan is still a cash cow for WWE. Iconic moments, Hulk v. Andre at WrestleMania this year. I'm sure they sold some t-shirts showing him slamming it at the WWE store. You've got the new statue of Hulk, all that. And it's like, to an extent, rightly so. He's a huge part of WWE and wrestling history, but there's a reason we didn't see much of him apart from those shitty Republican ceremony party things in the last few years.
I'll tell you a crazy part about this doc, though. I had to rewind it. When Hulk Hogan is talking about popping Fenty lollipops when he was working for TNA. It's like, yeah, no shit, because your TNA run sucked. Like, clip of him saying, yeah, I kind of wish it all just ended at WrestleMania 18. It's like, yeah. Then I'm sucking on fentanyl lollipops and sticking fentanyl up my nose. Again, also wondering, like, it's Hulk Hogan, so take it with a grain of salt. Anything he fucking says ever. Bret Hart.
Was it even fentanyl? Like, yeah.
Bret Hart, once again, being the legend he is, being like, yeah, Hulk Hogan lies, therefore you're known as a liar. Bret Hart saying, hey, dude couldn't wrestle for shit, but hey, his promo is 10 out of 10. Bret tells no lies. Wow. I still enjoyed watching it, but it did have some questions where I'm like, it wasn't like the Vince one, where at least they were a bit honest of like, yo, this guy did some fucked up shit, and we're not going to gloss over that, essentially. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I much prefer these Dark Side of the Ring shows, because then they get real into the scandalous shit. But any documentaries about wrestling and stuff, like looking back, all these years have passed, right? So I know he's Hulk Hogan. He's one of the reasons many people got into wrestling. But the old argument of like Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon invented wrestling. This documentary, 10 minutes in, Hogan says, yeah, as a kid, I watched Dusty Rhodes and went, holy shit, I should do that. So yeah, wrestling existed before Hulk Hogan and Vince McMahon, because even Hulk Hogan didn't lie about that. So Thought that was interesting. But yeah, I enjoyed watching it. I like all the Netflix docs anyways. But
I think our plan is on the Patreon to do some sort of Hogan show in the next few weeks.
I'm trying to convince you to.
Though. Well, it's a difficult one, right? Like he is a bit of a gaping hole on our Patreon. When you look at people we have talked about throughout the years, and he has just passed away. This documentary has come out. I think we are going to do something talking about the
best match ever.
Hulk Hogan. Best match ever. There you go. And so, but yeah, we'll call him we'll call him some nasty names as well. I'm sure we've got to balance the review to make it justifiable.
Yeah, exactly. We got to play. There's got to be two sides to it, but we can look back at some of the good stuff. Like him being, dragged by the Undertaker by his feet on a motorcycle, or I don't know, Mr. Nanny. We could just review Mr. Nanny or Suburban Commando. Just watch those movies.
I'm just looking. I mean, the Hogan Rock match, obviously. I'm just looking at cage match. Hogan Stan Hansen. That sounds interesting.
Oh yeah. It's actually good. Yeah, it's actually good.
Inoki,
like people
Hulk
say,
Hogan,
people say he can't wrestle. Like he did have some fun stuff, obviously, right? But
it'll make for an interesting show, I'm sure.
All right. Well, work in progress. We'll probably do one in a few weeks, celebrating Hulk Hogan. Like you said, warts and all.
Maybe not celebrating, but yeah, talking about Hulk Hogan.
So do we do a best match ever, or like a profile? Like go through this? Because I really don't want to go through it. I just watched the doc.
No, I think a best match ever. I'm
okay.
Like a profile sounds like a lot of work.
So I guess it's the Rock one. Like, just saved you the whole podcast.
There we go. That's the show. That's the show.
Jake in the chat reminding us we still didn't do BME Tanahashi. Oh my God. Yeah. Holy shit. I know we said we would get our friend Eric Marcotte from Post Wrestling on for that one. So
is that the balance? Are we just doing a Make Good month? Make Good May. There you go. Make Good May, where we just do all the shows that we said we'd do that we haven't done. We'll do a Tanahashi review. We'll do a Jay Briscoe review, because we never did that, did we? We'll do a Hulk Hogan review.
Oh my God.
Make Good May on the Patreon. There you go.
Wow. There's a few Make Goods we need to do, but yes, tons of shows. We do a show called Best Match Ever. We've done tons covering wrestlers who've retired or passed away. So we usually do it when a wrestler passes away or retires. So we do still need to do a Tanahashi and a Hulk Hogan. So we will get to that eventually. But yeah, wow. Wrestling's great, isn't it?
Yeah. Shall we talk about some developmental wrestling, Braden?
Let's talk about some developmental WWE wrestling from NXT from today, Tuesday, April 28th, 2026, as we go to Winter Garden, Florida. I think it's still Winter Garden, or is that just Full Sail? And that's
just Full Sail.
All right, somewhere near Orlando, Florida, at the Performance Center. It's NXT. As we see the video I mentioned earlier that was posted on the social media, Robert Stone, Albert, and HBK are in a dark business office meeting, and they're talking about NXT needs a shakeup, and tonight is a perfect time, and that the talent have been buzzing, the locker rooms have been buzzing, and they think it's time for some fresh new faces. We got Evolve, LFG, and international superstars who are waiting for their time.
Okay, that line I found fine. I like this as an opening. It's kind of setting up. We've established that, NXT is the performance center, and you've got these trainees there. Stone's the manager, Sean's the big boss, and we know Albert does a lot of the training. So I like this, the three of them. Okay, but I like how they made it seem like this meeting took place just before NXT starts at like 7:55 p.m. And Albert suggesting, there's a bunch of international superstars I could just call up right now. And whoa, weren't they were on Concord or something, like managing to get people over from Japan, from England, just like that, at the click of a button.
Hey, Albert, he's got connections.
Yeah.
He's got as many connections as he has gimmicks in his career.
Yes. We're not doing that. Not today. We're already an hour into the show, but yeah.
You know, anytime I get to talk about all the gimmicks of Albert, it's my one party trick. Start talking about Lord Tensai's gimmicks. Okay, so we start off NXT. Well, they mention Sean. Sorry, I think it's Mr. Stone who's like, "All right, we're gonna make some changes." And Sean says, "How about we throw a stick of dynamite in the freaking locker room?" So I guess that's exactly what happens tonight.
They love chaos in NXT, don't they? They're like this. Sean and Robbie E, they're just like, yeah, like fucking chaos in NXT all the time. Gone are the days of Regal trying to hire Samoa Joe to control everything. It's like, nah, let's just blow it up. Let's go crazy.
Bring the chaos. We start off with the North American Championship match. The champion, Myles Borne, taking on Saquon Shugars from Dark State. The three other members are ringside. Myles is in control with a bunch of suplexes, an X-plex, and then a gut wrench. Eventually hits a tope con hilo to the outside to Shugars and Osiris. Eventually, Dark State start getting involved and interfere as they go into picture, and that's when Shugars is in control here, beating him down. At one point, Saquon yells at Vic near the commentary desk, "Put me over. Are you putting me over?" As he continues to work the throat of Myles Borne. Myles then eventually starts to fight back with a back suplex off the top. He counters a back suplex, into like a crossbody, which was pretty cool. Eventually hits what looks like the eye of the hurricane, the final cut, and then a perfect plex for a 2 count. Shugars comes back with like a Northern Lights suplex, but he does like more of like a rotation with it into a drop kick for two.
Like this Northern Lights almost looked like a Northern Lights destroyer. It was like a drive with it. It looked very cool.
I couldn't tell if he was doing what did Ospreay used to do, like the Essex driver, where it was like a DDT kind of thing, but this was like him hitting the suplex. So I wasn't quite sure, but
looked cool.
It still looked cool. This is when again Dark State started to distract the ref, and Dion grabs a chair to give to him, but he goes, "No, I'm not doing this. Stop it. What are you doing? I'm winning the match." This allows a distraction of Borne to send them both into the steps, rolls him in, and then hits a slingshot Borne again for the 1, 2, 3. I'll tell you, he added a slingshot, and I still hate that finishing move. But Myles Borne retains the North American title.
Yeah, this was all right. I like Shugars. I think he's probably the most interesting in that group. And Myles Borne, there's still something that isn't completely connecting to me. I like the guy. I don't think his wrestling's too bad, but there's just something that's a little bland still, unfortunately for me. And I also didn't quite understand the ending. I wasn't sure if it was Dion Lennox had the chair, but the ref was looking, and that's why Saquon Shugars was pissed, because even though there's tension in this group, it's not like Saquon has been a good guy who's trying to like, no, I want to do this the right way. It seemed a little off. So I think maybe it was the idea was like, you're trying to cheat, but you're doing it right in front of the ref, and that's going to cost me. So I wasn't completely sure I followed the ending of the match. It was a little weird, but Shugars has been interesting, like a bit more of an interesting character the last few weeks, I'd say.
Like I understood that he kind of baby facing a little bit, like, hey, I'm winning the match. Like, why are you doing this? So again, I guess it leads to tension and maybe a possible breakup or something. He does seem to have the most. He's got the most juice, right? Like he's got the most, like the promo, even the wrestling. Like he's pretty good. So like I don't know. I do think he's the most interesting of the four of them. So if he does break away, I think he would be fine. But maybe this is all just classic NXT Degrassi shit where we're not breaking up. We're gonna drag this out until there's a breakup in a year or something. But
until one of them's released and the story just ends.
Yeah, true. Right. Yeah, of course. Well, I agree with Borne. He's still like he's decent wrestler, but there's still something else that's like even with him getting this edge to win the title, he's just back to being like a good guy and some sort of SmackDown versus Raw 2007 sounding theme song. After the match,
I mean, a lot of him is a bit creator wrestler.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, the Randy Orton stuff, I guess. Yeah. While he's celebrating, someone appears in the crowd, Tristan Angels. He looks like Pete Dunne with long hair and a nice dangly cross earring and a nice white shirt. He says that he is Mr. England, Tristan Angels, and that he's here to join NXT, and he's looking at that North American Championship. And while he's there and distracts Myles, someone else comes into the ring and attacks Myles Borne, and they say it's Vic Joseph, bless him. I'll defend Vic Joseph to the day I stop doing this show. He goes, "Oh my God, that's Cam Hendrix from LFG." Is that how it feels when people watch Raw and SmackDown and they do that?
Well,
it's that so from NXT.
It takes me back to early AEW when they would keep on doing the lights off and on, and then it would be the Butcher and the Blade, and you're like, oh, okay. Or it would be Satnam Singh. Remember when that ended? It was the first AEW show that had an overrun, I think, and you did the lights off, lights on, and it was Satnam Singh. And it's, oh my God, it's Satnam Singh. And you're like, who? Satnam Singh. But what's hilarious is oh my God, it's Tristan
Cam
Angels,
Hendrix.
or oh my God, it's Cam Hendrix, and then the former IWGP champion comes out, and they just don't know his name. Oh my God, it's the former IWGP heavyweight champion. What's his name, Vic? What's his name? Don't know.
True. So yeah, Cam Hendrix attacks him and lays out Myles. So as Tristan kind of watches on, but it's not like, I don't think these guys are together. At least it came across like they're not together.
Yeah, I think all the debuts were just like people trying to seize the opportunity, right? Sorry, what was it? Cam who?
Cam Hendrix.
Cam Hendrix. Okay.
So Tristan Angels mentioning he's from the UK. I don't know a whole lot about him, but I did like his first appearance here. I like having what is this? Maybe this is what Albert brought in, because he said, "I'm bringing in the international talent." We got some British stars showing up on NXT. I like the look. He looked like a little bit of an '80s British Lost Boy. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I thought it was the dude from
Elton Prince.
Yeah, and then I realized it wasn't. But like so far, he sounded decent on the mic. And then Cam Hendrix, I'm not familiar with either. But it's funny that going through all these releases, like they released a bunch of people from this LFG, but this guy, I guess, someone they see something in. So him attacking Myles, I guess we're gonna hear more about him next week. But 2 debuts instantly as NXT started after this match. Taking notes. That's 2 so far. Keeping score of debuts on tonight's episode. But that's what we need. We need debuts.
Well, Cam Hendrix was a part of the Montreal Alouettes in the Canadian Football League, was signed with them. I don't think he actually played, but was signed with them in 2020. And yeah, LFG contestant. And yeah, it looks. What's the other one? Tristan Angels doesn't look like he's done a whole lot before. Right. WWE's got about just under 100 matches to him, but yeah, we'll see how these guys are. Sino in the chat saying Angels was barely on Evolve before he moved up.
Okay, so he has been on Evolve, but this is a NXT call up, the developmental to the developmental call up. But Cam Hendrix, maybe that's good luck working for the CFL. It's helped. Former CFL players have become big deals in WWE. I just saw last week the Edmonton Eskimos posted, "Hey, congrats to former player Roman Reigns. Shout out Joe for winning the title at WrestleMania." I was like, that's sick. So CFL players make good wrestlers, as we know. CFL isn't real football, but they produce good wrestlers. So,
hey, it's the original football. Well, after our football.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how could you?
It's older than the
just
NFL.
Came out of your mouth. That's terrible. That a Brit just said. That's the real football. Canadian Football League. That's right, real football. So we'll see more of these debuts coming soon on NXT, but they're not the last on tonight's show. Mm-hmm. We see Kelani and Wren Sinclair. Sorry, not Kelani. Kendall Gray and Wren Sinclair watching NXT backstage when Kelani walks in and kind of giving them attitude as she always does. She is mad that Kendall got a 2-part chronicle about her, and she's kind of jealous that like it wasn't about me, and then says that you better watch out because Wren is eventually going to turn on you. Or I think she says to Wren that Kendall's eventually going to turn on you anyways, just like Charlie did. And Wren kind of takes offense to this, and that sets up a match for later tonight, Kelani versus Wren Sinclair. I like how Wren was like, yeah, well, at least I'm a champion. And Kelani like looked at the speed title. She didn't say anything, but she, a picture speaks, whatever the saying is.
Well,
because she just went like, the fuck.
Well, she did say, she's like, I don't even care if it's for the title. I just want a match against you. It's, Robert Stone booked this to go longer than 3 minutes, so I don't care about the title.
Yeah, I don't want that title actually. So
I mean,
sure.
Honestly, at this point, like, yeah, I'd be a bit pissed if I was Kelani Jordan. She's been there a while now, and pretty much everyone else has either become champ or have moved on. I really hope, and I'll save it to the match, but I really hope we move her up to the main title picture soon, because she's been kind of just floating around the mid card for longer than I feel she should have now.
I kind of agree. Yeah. Like she's someone who could maybe be even NXT women's champion.
Absolutely.
By this year, right? Like down the line if things go right for her. But yeah, so that match is later tonight, Kelani and Wren. But we go next to our NXT champion, Tony D'Angelo, who comes out. And he says that as things change, they stay the same, but nothing's for sure when it comes to the NXT championship. Did you catch his little Sting reference? We keep calling him Tony D'Angelo Sting, and right. I thought he was definitely dropping some Sting breadcrumbs there. He says that no one is tough enough to knock me off this mountain. He says, so whoever gave me that box, I know that this wasn't just a box and that this was a warning. So whoever it is, I'm waiting. Well, asking you shall receive, because the lights go out. The evil music hits. Oh, I didn't even mean to make a pun there, but some spooky music hits, and out comes a hooded figure in this very elaborate costume. And out comes and reveals himself a man who is truly evil. But they don't say his name. They said earlier, like you said, hey, it's all this person, but they do not say his name, at least yet. And the rumors are true. And he hands Tony what looked like a t-shirt or a
towel or something,
a flag or something. Yeah. And it's got the same Japanese symbol on it, which I think means war.
Yes.
I think they said last week.
It's the symbol for war.
Symbol for war. Yeah. And Tony is like, okay, yeah. And then he kind of just backs away and walks off, staring at Tony. But then as Tony stares back at him, he is attacked. I was like, okay, who else is debuting? Fuck, we're at 3 already. Okay, who else is debuting? And it's Tavion Heights, who hits a belly-to-belly suplex
with a new look, like the dreads now, right?
Yeah. He hits a belly-to-belly on Tony D'Angelo and then leaves the ring, which then here is a new debut, because a man gets in the ring, climbs up the top rope, and hits a moonsault off the top. This is like some big white dude in a hoodie doing a moonsault, as Vic Joseph is like, what's going on? Is that a fan? Says Vic Joseph. I had no idea who this was. And he moonsaults him and then kind of walks off. One of our friends, Brandon from New Jersey, in our one chat said it looked like Shane Gillis. And I totally see that. I thought it looked like him too. Just some white dude in a hoodie. It could be me. It could be anyone.
So this is Will Kroos, who used to work for Progress in England and was a former Atlas champion, which was basically their super heavyweight championship. Right. But I mean, I kind of like the call. Is that just a fan? Because he did just look like a bloke, didn't he? But then I think hitting the moonsault looked pretty impressive, and the size of him, it's old Gunther kind of size before he
Fat Walter
down.
Yeah, we missed Fat Walter. Yeah. This okay, so like I liked this because it felt so chaotic. It's like, wait, who's this dude who's just moonsaulting? Like, he is a bigger dude. The problem was he's wearing a hoodie and it like almost came off, so he's just kind of like trying to fix his like hoodie and stuff, but still it looked pretty cool. And I liked that Vic Joseph didn't know who this was. It made it cooler that he didn't go, oh my god, that's Cam Hendrix from LFG. I'm like, who? From who? What? This was just we don't know who this is. So
this guy hasn't been Evolve or LFG,
right? So, yeah.
So Vic shouldn't really know who he is, I guess.
Yeah.
And I thought this was I kind of liked it, just the chaoticness. You had Evil, which is obviously the big debut, but then Tavion with a bit of a character shift. It makes sense. Like, if you think of it as a legit thing, Heights has seen all these people leave. It's like, oh shit, this is my opportunity to step up. So I think that kind of made sense. Not the biggest Tavion Heights fan, but willing to give a heel Tavion a go, because we haven't really seen that. And the Will Kroos guy, it's like he reminded me of, when I'd say there's some other wrestlers, like what's the guy in who was Evolve, who we like, looks like the bear from Toy Story 3, works in AEW, the Workhorseman, JD Drake.
JD Drake, yeah.
I kind of like those kind of wrestlers who reminds me of Britain's Got Talent or something, and Susan Boyle walks out and everyone's laughing, like, who the fuck is this? And then sings, and they're like, oh wow. And it was kind of like that with this bloke and his moonsault. Just, as you said, his like hoodie's riding up, and he just looks like some bloke who's maybe hopped the fence and then hits a awesome looking moonsault there. So
like, he looked good. Like, again, I got Vader vibes, like this big dude doing a moonsault. I was like, oh shit, okay. So good first impression. At least he didn't have any ass crack showing, crack kills. So that was a plus. But I'm sure he wears like a singlet or something when he actually moonsaults people. But I like this. This is what NXT needs. Do more of this. Bring in people from independents. Fuck it. Like, we need to do this a lot more. So this is 4 debuts. It was like not even 8:30. And we had 4 new people. 5 if you include like a new version of Tavion Heights. But like, he's someone who would have slipped away that we kind of forgot about. So 4 new debuts here at like 8:30. Crazy. This
Kroos guy also more recently wrestled for Noah as well. So has a bit of a Japan background too.
Nice. So he's been wrestling with our boy Inamura.
Yeah.
Probably, right? Yeah.
But I guess the biggest one is Evil. What did you think? I mean, the rumors are true. Evil is NXT.
NXT is evil. Everything is evil. Everything is sinister. I think they will be going with one of those names, whether it's like Evil, Sinister, whatever, because his Titantron things had like the Oni mask, like the demon mask thing. Yeah. So I fucking hated him in New Japan. But he has had some hidden gems out there, including like his Wrestle Kingdom. Him and was it Aaron Wolf, the debut of that guy?
Yep.
I thought that was really entertaining, actually. And like the House of Torture stuff was in fact torture. So I don't know. I'm hoping to see a better side of him. I can't pretend to be excited about Evil in NXT. It's like literally ask me like a year, 2, 3 years ago, who's your least favorite New Japan person? And it would be him. And now he's in NXT. So I have to hope this is a bit of a reset, but he really always was the like perfect WWE wrestler that was in New Japan. Like, he's decent enough to get away. He's decent at wrestling that he does a lot of the heel House of Torture bullshit. But then, like, he's got a pretty decent look. He's pretty big, some cool colors, some scary lights and music. Like, I think he'll fit in fine, maybe in WWE, but I don't know.
I thought he looked like a star coming out.
Yeah.
And like, he's always had a bit of that aura. Like, his entrance was always cool, especially his Wrestle Kingdom entrances.
Yeah.
And I think in this NXT where you've lost your bigger names, your Joe Hendrys, your Ricky Saints, your Ethan Pages, you need someone established who already has that aura about him. The guy can wrestle. There's no the guy knows how to wrestle. It's been the booking, it's been the overdoing the, the stuff with Dick Togo and the rest of House of Torture, like all the low blows, the garrots, like all that stuff, just so overdone that it is groan inducing. But I don't know if booked right, and this is WWE, so fucking who knows. But I thought he came across well and did have a bit of a presence and could be a good first match for Tony.
That could be pretty cool. Like I am interested to see him, how he wrestles and how he fares here in NXT and WWE. So I don't know. I'm willing to give it a chance for sure. Like I do know I hated his stuff in New Japan, but then he would have glimpses. I know over the years there'd be one or two matches like, I think it was that one Ishii match that I just never will forgive him about, that he dragged Ishii's overall match quality down.
Think though, I think for us, and I don't think we ever really went back to watching regular New Japan afterwards. It was the whole turn with him winning the title and the formation of House of Torture happened during clap crowd pandemic. Yeah. So it's not only is it like you're doing this like overdone heelish cheating, but the crowd aren't even allowed to react. So it would just make it feel even colder and deader than it was. And
torture.
I haven't watched I try with the G1 every year. I watch Wrestle Kingdom and might catch the odd Dominion main event or something like that. But really, since him winning the title and that pandemic New Japan, I haven't been able to get back into it.
Yeah. Like we're gonna try. We're gonna try here, but I'm not sugarcoating. This guy was literally a reason I didn't watch New Japan, and now I'm like, oh, he's in WWE, so instantly he's gonna be great. It's like, we'll see. I guess I'm stoked. We got some new people. Hey, what's Hiromu doing? Bring him in to NXT. What's that young spry wrestler? What's his name again? Naito. Bring him into NXT. Developmental. Bring him in there. I think he's got knees older than half the roster here in NXT.
Yeah, I'm okay. I'd honestly take Evil over Naito.
Yeah. Wow. Evil is NXT. I'm willing to give it a shot. Like, hey, we need to try to bring some people in, but it's just unfortunate. He was a low point in New Japan for me, but I'm willing to change. My mind can be changed if he does some good stuff in here. And so far, like, he looked good in this. Like,
good segment. Overall, I thought a really successful segment here.
Yeah. Evil. Everything is evil. So let's see what happens with that. So 4 debuts in one. So what's his name? Will Kroos?
Will Kroos. I think people are suggesting that he's going to be Mason someone. I think one of the trademarks, Mason Rook, has been trademarked. So people assuming that might be him.
And then I think Sinister is probably Evil.
You're going with Sinister?
Didn't they trademark that like recently as well?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Sinister. Okay.
Sinister. Everything is sinister. Doesn't have the same ring to it, but we'll work on that. We go, okay, there was so much going on in like the span of 5 minutes here, because we had Tony D, who's out there, who's interrupted by Evil, or thou who shall not be named Evil, or Sinister. And then he's attacked by Tavion, who's got a new hairstyle. And then he's attacked by who we think is just this big dude in the crowd who hits a moonsault. And then it cuts to the cemetery. This episode is
yes.
This play is all over the place. Okay, so we go to last night in the graveyard as Shiloh Hill and Tatum Paxley are digging a grave. They are finally putting to rest Blake Monroe in NXT. They buried her. They have a whole tombstone here that says rest in peace to Blake Monroe in NXT. Tatum, she's feeling a few ways about this. She feels sad that she's got to put Blake in the grave, but she had to. Shiloh gives her some smart, wise advice. They're connecting, they're communicating. And he says, Tatum, you're really fun to be around. And she says the same thing. He then says that he's preparing for his match tonight against Ricky Starks, and he created a simulation of Ricky Saints. And he says that he's played it over and over and over again. And now that he's done with the simulation. The simulation Ricky is just alone and sad in its own simulation world. So he feels kind of bad about that. And she says, well, I don't know about that, but I know tonight or tomorrow, because this was last night, you're going to kill it. And then she looks around in the graveyard. Oh, sorry. No offense. And then, then we hear some piano music, which sounded like the American Beauty score,
right,
playing in the background as we see Tatum and Shiloh hanging out in the graveyard.
Like, just wrestling's weird, isn't it? Like, you know, like anyone coming into this new, like we said this last week, like, oh, it was a casket match or when there's a buried alive match or whatever. Normally, it signifies a change in character. Either they're taking some time off, or they're, you know, moving to another territory, or in this case, the main roster, or, you know, they're going to come back with a completely different change of character and stuff like that. So we've come to accept that. We've seen that for years with, you know, Undertaker feuds and things like that. But I don't think we've ever seen the two people just smiling and hanging out by the grave the next week. And we've already seen she's going to SmackDown. Like, she's moving up. But I kind of just, it's goofy, but it's one of those things when you've been a wrestling fan for years and years, you just accept it. And someone new might be like, wait, what? They killed her? Well, they killed her in NXT, but she'll be reborn somewhere else. They'd be like, what are you talking about? But I kind of like it. I like this too. I think their chemistry is really infectious, actually.
I really like the pairing of these two. Like, I definitely, I felt ways about Shiloh Hill in his first debut, and they really pushed the whole, like, oh, I'm weird kind of thing. But once they started doing things together, I feel like there's a bit of a click. There is a connection. And I think they definitely get the best. They bounce off each other really well. And then seeing them in the cemetery is giving me like Addams Family, Munster vibes. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is stuff I do like. So I'm turning the corner for sure on Shiloh Hill. But I think Tatum has been the best addition to, and vice versa for both of them. So it definitely is working for me. And we'll see down the line. We'll see how long that NXT wedding takes in months to come. But yeah, so far so good in the cemetery. So we went from a cemetery to our next match. We see the BirthRight come out. Is it just me, or I'm kind of vibing to the BirthRight's theme song?
Okay.
Kind of good. It's kind of chill. It's pretty cool.
I'll have to give it a listen again.
I love that Booker T is going off about, because you know he loves Pillman Jr. And he goes, the speed champion, Lexus King, the fastest man alive. I just think of Superbad. Fastest kid alive. Fastest kid alive right here is Lexus King. Lexus has a microphone as he's standing in the ring with the BirthRight. He says that he's got terrible news, and that EK Prosper had an accident backstage because
Dorian Van Dukes did.
Yeah, well, they play the video, and it's Adriana who's like, sorry, Ariana. I'm messing up all the NXT names. She's backstage, and she's like, oh no, something's going on. And we see the BirthRight have taken out Dorian Van Dukes, and they say, it looks like he's not able to compete tonight. So I guess Prosper will have to prosper on his own. So EK runs out for the match and starts trying to fight off all of the whole BirthRight here. When the numbers game is too strong for him, they start to beat down on him. When Sean Legacy returns, he comes back, starts to fight them off, and the match is made official. So it's Sean Legacy and EK versus the BirthRight. EK starts to get the best of Stacks. And I think, it's Uriah and Stacks who are actually wrestling in this tag match against Legacy and EK. EK is doing some really fast moves, getting the best of these guys. But eventually, it's Stacks and Uriah who keep tagging in and out during commercial break. Eventually, Legacy gets a hot tag. There's like the moonsault into this like reverse, like driver type move. Really cool. Prosper's in, hitting like Michinoku drivers and moonsaults to everyone. Uriah hits a swanton, but it's broken up at 2. And then eventually it ends with Legacy hitting, I think they called this move Shambles, which is pretty much like his Stormbreaker type maneuver gets the win. EK and Legacy. Great to see Sean Legacy back. Another great addition. Now, this isn't necessarily a debut, but it's a reintroduction coming back from wherever he was with this injury and stuff. So great to see him back, because this dude, in what we've seen, is a really good wrestler. And I thought this was a pretty fun little tag match.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm trying to see if there's anything like, is Van Duke's legit hurt, or if this was just to bring back Sean Legacy, because we only saw him in that one match, and I thought they'd want to maybe showcase Van Duke's a little bit. But
yeah,
I'm liking this division. I think it's just a real shame that it's currently it's the speed division, because these are the most exciting people, and I thought this match was great. The crowd seemed to love it. They just, all of them move at such a pace and offer. Yeah, we see a lot of flippy shit today, but I think both Prosper and Sean Legacy, the way they do their stuff, the way they move is quite unique as well. So it's not just another guy doing a 450, but the moonsault that Prosper does, the height he gets on it, the angle he comes at. So you mentioned that like Stormbreaker that Legacy does just looks awesome. This is a really exciting division. It's just a shame it's based around the speed title, because I'm hoping, seeing that this is developmental, we use the time to actually improve these guys talking and have them cut serious promos and things and have a bit more of a meaningful feud, because like if you're looking at people to fill in the gaps for the like main title picture, these are the guys I'd be looking at.
Yeah, like Sean Legacy is impressed in all his appearances, so it's great to have him back. He's a great addition to this roster, and I almost feel like he shouldn't be in this little pocket. Okay, he just came back and stuff, but we could eventually move him into like North American territory, into main title territory, even like just from his wrestling alone. But all these guys are looking good. This is way better, interesting stuff for Uriah Connors since joining this thing. Same with Stacks. Like this is all better stuff. Even like, okay, the speed title is just a prop to help Lexus King at this time. And I think this is the best use of all of these characters at this point. And EK Prosper looking good. The only downside was I was looking forward to Dorian Van Dukes.
Van Dukes. Yeah.
We'll have to see him. Hopefully it's not an injury or anything. I imagine it was just story for this, but yeah. So we go from that to a beatdown afterwards. Oh, I forgot. We have another debut because there's a beatdown. The Birthright taking down Sean Legacy and EK Prosper when out comes Tate Wilder from Evolve, as Vic says.
Oh, I forgot about this one. Yeah.
Okay, I think technically we've seen this guy, or at least in some shape or form. So I don't know if it's technically a debut, but fuck it. It's another debut here, and he saves them. Unfortunately, he almost eats shit like in this move to the outside, but still manages to stand tall at the end. But Tate Wilder.
Jeez. Yeah, these names.
Tate Wilder. Yeah, I remember we talked about him time ago. Yeah. But he seems pretty green.
Yeah.
But he kind of looked like Sting's kid, El Hijo del Sting. What's his name?
Steve Jr.
Steve Borden?
Steve Borden Jr.
Yo, Steve Borden put the rocket on him already. I've seen enough. Sting Jr. should be like, he's not in NXT. He's in the Ring of Honor. He's in their NXT.
He'll all in main event against Brody Lee Jr. in just a few years.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lot older than Brody Lee, but yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. Still, Sting Jr. looking good.
That's why it's been a few years.
Yeah, a few years. Yeah, sure. Well, Tate Wilder coming soon to NXT because he had enough of the Birthright, I guess, with this beatdown. We go backstage. Jada, the women's locker room, they're all hanging out. Jada's hanging out with Thea talking when Callie Armstrong comes in and starts talking trash to Jada and says that you're scared and that everyone here in this division is on notice and should be scared. And Thea says, oh, you shouldn't argue and get in the face of Jada. And she says, oh, don't talk to me. Don't get in my business. And Callie says that she's going to be the difference maker here in NXT. And I'll check anyone. I'll even check you, Jada. And then there's a big pull apart. And I imagine it's made official for next week that we get Jada versus Callie Armstrong.
All right. Yeah, Callie looked good the other week. So up against someone a bit more protected in Jada Parker. See how they do.
Yeah. We get a video of Shawn Michaels. We didn't talk about this off the top, but some news coming for American NXT fans. NXT on the CW all year long. For the next few years, actually, not just a year, the next few years. NXT WWE signed a deal with the CW that the PLEs will be on the CW. Like the specials will be featured on the CW network.
So I think CW has a streaming thing, don't they? But I got the impression this will be on TV. Now, that doesn't really affect us because of Netflix and things, but just makes me concerned in the States. Like, how will this affect the flow of the pay-per-view? Is this going to feel more like the Saturday night main events on NBC were, with, you know, matches being interrupted with commercial breaks and things like that? Now, obviously, us, the international feed, shouldn't affect us, hopefully, but yeah, I wonder. It's weird because it hasn't had a home. You know, it was just on YouTube recently, the last event. So we'll see. But hopefully, it is on there. So Sino's saying it's on their streaming service, VOD the next day. But okay, so you'll be watching on TV with commercials live. So yeah.
Okay, so as long as it doesn't make it like, as the Great American Bash rolls on, and then like it, because when we watch on Netflix, there's always like a 30-second like audio cut, where the match is like cutting if it's picture in picture, or if it's commercial, we hear the EDM track that I always dance to. But like, I think this is better. Okay, so they put Stand and Deliver was on YouTube only, and I remember when I did the review with John Pollock from Post Wrestling, he was saying that the numbers weren't necessarily great for that show, at least live. And I'm wondering if that had some, if did they take it down from YouTube? Oh, interesting. I find like this is better for WWE, having your show actually on something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And CW seem very behind NXT. They seem pretty happy with the numbers it does, and so this is an indication of that. Just the fan experience might not be quite as good.
It sounds like it will be these like TV specials, but on some Saturdays. Great American Bash was referenced, as well as like your Halloween Havocs, all the old pay-per-views, that the PLEs that they do here, essentially. But it doesn't affect international audiences like us in Canada because we have it on Netflix, of course. But you excited? More Saturday shows? Saturday CW NXT shows? Wow.
Who knows? I might not be working Saturdays anymore, so it might be all right.
No, come on.
I'll probably be working Saturdays.
Yeah, you'll probably work. Even if we weren't, out of principle, we would not spend most of our Saturdays watching NXT on the CW. But we love NXT, but maybe not that much. Maybe once in a while will be okay. We went from that announcement to another announcement. Well, sort of. Lola Vice, the NXT Women's Champion, comes out to the ring in a very Jennifer Lopez inspired green iguana style outfit here. She calls out Izzy Dame for attacking her last week and says that you had the culling behind you to back you up, but everyone here knows that if we had a face-to-face one-on-one encounter, I would knock you out. And that's when Sean Spears appears. I like that. On the Titantron, and says that we're always one step ahead of you. And that's when Nico Vance and Izzy reveal themselves in the ring. And as they go to attack Lola, Mr. Iguana shows up, throws La Yesca at Izzy, who sells it like an actual iguana. And then the attacks Nico Vance, leaving Lola and Iguana standing tall here on NXT. So I imagine this is a future mixed tag match, as they are the mixed tag champions in AAA. I
could maybe see maybe Izzy and, what will it be, Izzy and Nico or Izzy and Sean? I could maybe see them taking these titles briefly to just give some heat for the feud. I don't see Izzy beating Lola for the main title, which obviously we'll get to, but maybe a little way to add some heat to the feud. They'll beat it. I can't say I'm overly excited about these combinations.
You know, I love Lola Vice, and I'm happy she's champion. I feel like there's something that hasn't clicked since winning the title. Like, it's been the 2 promos kind of like, oh, I'm champion and I'm going to fight everyone. Maybe we just should have some defenses, and I guess that's where we're going with this.
I think that is Izzy's Kane in this thing, right? Like, she's the first defense, and then hopefully we'll build to I can't stand Kane. Hopefully we'll build to a Kelani feud is what I'd like to see.
Oh man, I tried watching the Kill Tony WrestleMania thing, but then
I watched the intro last night and I couldn't.
Yeah, I know. I actually didn't finish, and like I feel like I will eventually, but I didn't watch it after watching the beginning.
Undertaker's commenting on what's funny and not like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
Kane making some terrible jokes. It was like, oh man, I can't believe.
And that Tony Hinchcliffe, just his face annoys me. Like,
yeah, crazy. So Lola and Izzy, that's fine. I don't see Izzy. I don't like the culling. I don't like any of the stuff from these guys. And I know it's supposed to help Izzy and maybe Nico, but maybe this can lead to some good stuff. But we shall see. We go backstage. Dark State is arguing. They're upset. Shugars is like, what are you doing? Dion's like, yo, you would have won if you just used the chair. And Cutler yells at them and says, enough. It's time that you both tried to focus on winning gold, but why don't we go back to our roots? And says that Osiris and Cutler will go after the tag titles. So maybe they'll face the Vanity Project, another heel team, but we'll see. I don't see them winning gold, unfortunately, for Cutler James, but
no,
we go to
no. So no, Vanity Project should keep this for a long time.
We go to our next debut. How many are we at now? I think we're at 6.
Something like that. Yeah.
Is this 7 now?
Well, if you count returns as well, you've got Iguana and Sean Legacy, and it's been a lot.
Tate Wilder.
Yeah.
That fan in the hoodie. It's a lot. We have the debut of Lizzy Rain, who told us in the promo last week, heavy metal and Lizzy Rain will never, ever die. Something I learned a few days ago is because we were talking about her promo last week that we were kind of hyped for this. Like, oh, cool. A heavy metal rocker chick from London. They bill her from. And it's like, okay, cool. But I learned a few days ago from a few different music websites posting that she is actually related to the original drummer from Iron Maiden, her uncle, Clive Burr. Fucking sick. So she revealed that her jacket that she wore here in her debut is actually her uncle's from Iron Maiden. And someone in the crowd had the Maiden, the Iron Maiden or something. The Metal Maiden is what they called her, Lizzy Rain. So maybe that's a name they can go with, the Metal Maiden. But cool first impression here from heavy metal, Lizzy Rain. But she's going up against someone who just is the opposite of heavy metal, as we get an insert promo from Nikkita, Lyons. And you ever watch wrestling and you live with people, maybe your family, your significant other. My girlfriend, of course, walks into the room as it's Nikkita Lyons insert promo. And my girlfriend said, she's still on this show? And I went, you don't even know why that's funny, because she doesn't know about releases and all that stuff. But yeah, it did make me question, unfortunately. Like, wait, what? She's still here? She's still here.
So unlikable as well. Just
her chakra,
her singing in this promo. Just
oh my gosh. She says in this that she doesn't like these new people coming into NXT and stealing thunder. And she says heavy metal vibe is just too loud and it's messing with my frequency. And says that she's the divine feline. So this match, Lizzy Rain versus Nikkita Lyons. Lyons is in control pretty for the most part here. Catches her off the top and hits this spin out sidewalk slam face buster, which looked pretty good. You know what? Lyons might have been shooting in the gym. She's impressed in some of the moves she hit in this match.
She did look better here.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, she hits this pretty cool looking kick that looked nice for a 2 count, and then hits her splits for another near fall. Eventually, Rain fights back and hits a spin kick of her own, and then a cutter. She eventually gets back up, and then the crowd start to chant "Make it rain" as she hits a series of her chops here. Eventually, Lyons hits a Michinoku driver. She's definitely been practicing for a 2 count, but then Rain gets back up and hits a running headbutt in the corner. And then what Vic calls the Thunderstruck, which is a running pop-up, almost like you're going for an Enziguri, but in midair, you hit a knee strike.
It's like the Mako Satomura move, but with them stood up. What'd she call it? You know, Nakamura's done it since, and so has Roxanne, with the axe kick to the back of the head, like step-up axe kick. But this is her opponent stood as she's doing it. Like, look fantastic, look great.
Yeah, this move is really cool, and the Thunderstruck, obviously. Like, this whole gimmick is metal, you know, with the Iron Maiden jacket, the whole the name Thunderstruck, AC/DC, right? So I'm for it. I love my 80s glam rock. So this was pretty cool. And again, I honestly, Nikkita has stepped up. Like, the wrestling looked a whole lot better here. Even in defeat, I thought, like, hey, actually, I was going into this being like, oh no, it's her. But then she looked pretty good.
This reminded me of an old NXT debut. I think back to like an Adam Rose, who we've talked about recently on Was Next, or Eric Bugenhagen, someone who just from a vignette and a little bit of online buzz on the debut, the crowd are sort of in on the act right away, and they want it to work. And I don't feel we've had that for a while. But I think of the first time Adam Rose came out with the Rosebuds, and we'd had the little backstage segments, and everyone right away was singing the song and into it, and kind of felt like that here. Just from that one promo video last week, people seem to be, oh, this looks cool. Yeah, let's go. And, you know, the Make It Rain chants and all that seemed to have a lot going for her right away. I thought it was a great debut.
Yeah, I thought it was a good debut. I love this is an easy gimmick that we've seen in so many iterations of, whether it's Chris Jericho or, as I said, from the Heavy Metal Sisters and Women of Wrestling. Like, easy gimmick to do a rocker, or even an 80s rocker gimmick, but it totally works if you live the gimmick. And hey, she's got Iron Maiden in her blood. Like,
yeah.
Fuck literally. Yeah. Rock and roll will never die in my heart. So I'm always going to support. So far, so good. And the Thunderstruck looked good. So hell yeah. Bring on the rain on NXT. So we're up to what? 7 debuts in NXT tonight. Crazy. Let the rain fall down. Myles Borne is backstage with Tavion, and they start to argue. He's like, hey, what was that about? Why did you attack Tony? And he's like, what? You're getting mad at me because I attacked Tony? You did the same thing to Ethan Page to get the title in the first place, so why can't I shine too? And he walks off when Keanu Carver gets in the face of Myles Borne and says, see, I said last week that this place is full of sharks and they're circling, but just know you're looking at the great white. So Myles is like, well, okay, maybe you are. Maybe you're right.
So next challenger for Myles Borne, I guess, Keanu Carver. Who I thought they'd have made a bigger deal with Carver, seeing that he just murdered Joe Hendry last week.
Like, yeah, I would assume if you're facing Keanu, he's taking this title from Myles.
Yeah,
if that's the case, right? So maybe, but I don't know. Keanu, like, you want to push this guy quickly, but I don't know. There's that title could do a whole lot without some other people, but maybe that's the right move. I don't know. We saw Obafemi before his big main NXT championship run. He had the North American title run first, so could easily do something with this big character. We see Vanity Project backstage. There's all these NXT people hanging out in this lounge area, and Jackson Drake says, oh, birthday alert, as it's Ricky Smokes' birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Ricky Smokes. What do you think Ricky Smokes is doing right now on his birthday?
What is he now, 22?
Can he even drink? This kid. Can he even smoke? Ricky Smokes. I hope he doesn't. Stay healthy.
Yeah, legit. His birthday today. He's now 26.
26. Okay, that's
he's an old man.
Yeah, compared to I feel like Jackson Drake is 22. Brad
Baylor's like 14, isn't he? Brad Baylor's 22. Okay.
Brad Baylor's 22.
I'm just looking up. I'm just looking at pictures of Brad Baylor now. He's a ridiculous looking.
So wait a second. Ricky Smokes is 26. He's not even hanging out with the 22s over here.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. I'm feeling 22. Okay, so they say things are looking up, and then Jackson Drake says, yeah, things are looking up because Mika's tall. Yes, referencing his date last night. He then says, they then say, hey, even though we're champs, it's time that you can step up too. And he says, well, now that I have Mika, anything, I can conquer anything. When Jasper Troy walks up and says, oh, yeah, you think you can conquer anything? Well, you know, I think it's time that that you step up to me. So it looks like we're going to get Jackson Drake versus Jasper Troy in the near future, which I'm not too excited about. I love Jackson Drake, but Jasper Troy just doesn't do it for me.
Yeah, just give an easy win to Drake and move on. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I feel like Jasper's going to go over, unfortunately.
Probably, yeah.
Or Mika shows up and overpowers Jasper, right? Yep. We get her like body slamming him or something.
Yeah, there we go.
I felt like the one thing I didn't like. I'm pretty positive on this episode with all the fresh stuff, but the one thing I think they dropped the ball on was the big date from last week. We didn't really get.
I mean, he was talking about it. He was saying how much he likes her and that she's tall and it went really well. So yeah,
she's body slamming Jasper next week. That's what's happening. We go to our next match. Kelani Jordan taking on Wren Sinclair. Early on, every time Kelani tries to do something to Wren, she keeps countering everything. There's all these different near falls, some great pinfall attempts. She keeps scouting her. Eventually, there's a drop kick off the apron from Wren, but she starts to sell the knee, and that's when Kelani starts to attack it. She's hitting all sorts of leg attacks, including a DDT to the leg and the knee and the ankle. Wren eventually fights back, but then Kelani hits a flying cutter and goes up top for her frog splash, but Wren gets the knees up, eventually goes for the final wrench, but that damn knee just gives out, so she can't keep the hold on, which allows Kelani to hit her judgment slam and then the one-of-a-kind split-legged moonsault for the 1, 2, 3. So, yeah, Kelani winning. She didn't win the speed title, though, because it was non-title. But
she didn't want it. And she wouldn't have won anyway. It went over 3 minutes. But, or 5 minutes. Sorry. It would have been a championship match, wouldn't it? But some asshole in the crowd kept chanting, "You can't wrestle," during this match. And I think it was directed at Kelani. But, like, I was like, which one of these two can't wrestle? Like, it was very odd and it was very irritating throughout it. And I saw one of the comments in the chat pick it up as well. But yeah, I thought this was great, these two. I think they're actually two of my favorites in NXT in the women's division. And I really liked Wren's selling of the knee and the ankle throughout this. I like the sort of, she's got a beat, but her leg just gives out. And Kelani's definitely owning this heel character a lot better now. As I said earlier, I just want to see her move up now. I want to see her in that world title picture.
Kelani and Kendall will be a good match if we go to that next week or whatever, but like that should be good. But yeah, I don't know where we go with, like, I don't want Lola to just lose it at the next PLE. She needs to have some defenses and stuff, but I do see Kelani, Kendall, maybe Zarya up in that like NXT women's title in the next little few months or whatever. But fun match here. I did notice that, having the guy chant, and there's always that one guy who's booing really loudly and stuff. Like, the PC is so tiny that all it takes is one person to do that, and you hear it and it comes across, or it can get in the heads of the wrestlers and piss them off and stuff. I do think we have complained over the years about the people booing and yelling things, and I just think maybe there should be someone in security being like, hey, shut the fuck up. We got it. You said it. We heard you the first 3 times. And now you're saying it like 12 more times. Like, shut the fuck up.
Like, if it doesn't catch on, if the others aren't joining in, just leave it.
It's not catching on because it's a dumb fucking chant. Oh shit! Better keep doing it then. Probably is one of the people who don't wear deodorant who go to wrestling shows. But do better, NXT crowd.
Yes,
do better. And if you're the people who are also there, police the crowd. Boo, because sometimes they do that too. They boo the person who's like doing that shit. So
yeah,
that also is a good thing to do. So we go from that to a video. We had a ceremony of life, or a grave ceremony, I guess a funeral for Blake earlier, but this felt a bit like a funeral too, because it's a video for Zarya, and we see Sol Ruka's surfboard on fire as Sol's surfboard turns to ash, our purest form. Was it just me, or was this some AI slop?
I was just going to say, I thought you were going to say, is this a funeral for the creative department in WWE who've lost their jobs to some ChatGPT right here?
Unfortunately, this looked like poop from a butt to me. I hated this. All you needed to do was have a face close-up of Zarya. All you needed to do was literally go to a board shop, a thrift shop, find the ratty old board and light it on fire. It's Florida. You live by the beach. Instead, they clearly used AI, and the video of the face who was supposed to be Sol Ruka didn't look like her at all. This was pathetic, unfortunately. Do better. Why are we using AI in these videos? I know we've used them before. I know we've seen it before. I think back to the Tatum stuff with the dollhouse and the underwater, but this was blatant garbage. How much money is this company making? Why do they have to resort to this?
I think my issue with it is if I hadn't seen AI before, I'd probably look at this and be like, oh, that's kind of cool. But I think it's because we see so much of it now, you can tell right away that it's AI.
Yeah.
And it's just, why are we like,
who okayed this?
Why are we doing this? I didn't like it. You can tell, right? I'm already seeing Bully Ray defending it on Twitter, and everyone's going off on him, saying like, no, it's
really
shitty.
That sounds like an AI made up sentence. Of course he fucking would. Of course. Think of the worst take possible, and of course he's going to be defending it. AI.
I also saw that he said that AEW should give Zoe Stark a microphone, which just sounds terrible idea as well. But
I don't think we should give Bully a microphone apparently anymore. Jesus Christ. I don't understand this AI stuff. Like, this could have been so much better if Zarya just in a video at the beach. It didn't even need a surfboard on fire.
Just a bin and a big like barrel where she throws the surfboard in and lights it on fire.
I just hate the AI stuff. And you know what? I hate when people send me AI slop. You know, it's funny once in a while, you know, whatever, some music, some songs, whatever. But people are making AI art. People are making albums where they don't have any musical, you know, creativity. They just use AI to type out a song, and then people are doing the worst shit with AI. And unfortunately, it's now seeped into promo videos on a wrestling show, on a WWE product. They're using AI clearly. Like, it didn't look like these characters at all. No. And if you ask, well, what's so wrong with that? Then why not just make the whole goddamn show fake and AI and made up? Because then we could have people doing spots off buildings and in space, and fuck it, do it in Back in the Future. And like, if you don't see the problem with it, that's okay. Just read about why it's not okay. Realize why it's not. I'm sure people didn't mind this as much as me and you. I just think we're in this era that like you can't avoid this kind of shit. And unfortunately now it's on the TV shows. And it's like, because I really wanted to like this and get into this character of I want Zarya to have this whole like, hey, I destroyed Sol Ruka. I literally last week. I hope she's okay with that head bump. But
okay, let's put like the use of AI aside for a second. I do feel finally it feels like we're talking about this show is full of debuts. It feels like we're getting the debut of Zarya. Yeah. Like the debut of what they originally presented in those vignettes way back when she was signed with the company and she was making her debut. It feels like we're finally getting that character. We're going to get the monster that we should have seen her be. Like, I think that was the thing. Like, I like the oddball pairings, you know, to bring up Kane again. It's funny when, you know, you finally humanize the monster and Kane is with X-Pac or Daniel Bryan or whoever. But you need them to have the run of as the monster first for it to make them work. And I thought they just paired her with Sol way too quickly, that she hadn't really established who she was to start with. So I didn't like the use of AI here. But I do like that it finally feels like we might actually get the proper Zarya.
Yeah, I hope this is a step in the right direction. Just don't do the AI stuff. Like, I know they're using it for like merch and like God knows what music, who knows, but like, I don't know. Is it like, I can tell, and it took me out of it. Like, what's next if we're going to start doing this kind of stuff? But looking at the actual, what it was supposed to do is tell me that this is the end of Sol Ruca in NXT. And I hope she's okay from that bump last week. Cause that
it was nasty.
Pretty gnarly. We go to our main event, Ricky Saints versus Shiloh Hill. And Ricky Saints making his entrance here. And Booker T on commentary says a lot of people make comparisons to Ricky to The Rock. And Vic goes, yeah, well, and then an awkward silence for about 10 seconds. And then Vic goes, anyways, back to the match. It was like, wait, what? What happened there? What?
So it wasn't just that. He said, which Booker's completely changed his tune. Or I know he's the heel commentator, but he seemed overly negative about Ricky's Saints for a while, didn't he?
We've established that though, because since then Ricky has worked for Reality of Wrestling.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But he's basically saying that Ricky Saints holds himself to a higher standard than others. And then he goes, other people who held themselves to a higher standard include the Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan. And you're like, oh, not great examples. And then he goes, The Rock. And then I think he catches himself because he then inadvertently brought up the similarities between him and The Rock, which I don't think are things you want to point out because he then does come across as a budget Rock. We said that with that whole Rock concert he did a few weeks ago. And then it felt like Vic kind of picked up on that as well. And it was just like,
it just went quiet.
But it was just, he had two terrible examples. Yeah, he holds himself to a higher example, like Ultimate Warrior and Hulk Hogan and The Rock. Oh, fuck.
So Ricky's problematic. I don't know when he's comparing it to Warrior and Hogan, but it was just funny because I bet you, I'm assuming Ricky's like, hey, I don't like The Rock comparisons. Please don't do that. And here they are accidentally made. Well, Booker just fucking saying whatever he wants, but classic Booker bite here on NXT. Anyways, Ricky Saints versus Shiloh Hill. Shiloh's on the offense early in this match. Eventually Ricky hits this spin out kick on the apron, kind of like a 619. And then Shiloh then goes under the ring to hide from Ricky. So Ricky goes after him and pulls on the leg and the boot of Shiloh from underneath the apron, but pulls it out to reveal a dummy Shiloh Hill. It's in lumberjack clothing with the Jason mask on. Now, for a second, I thought we were getting another debut of one of my personal favorites, Yoshihiko. But unfortunately, it was just a dummy here of Shiloh Hill. And
I kind of like this spot. I think because we've established with Shiloh, he goes under the ring. You know, he grabbed Ricky Saints last week and pulled him under the ring and that sort of stuff. It was a silly spot, but it did kind of make me laugh.
So right after, as he's realizing this is a dummy with the Jason mask and everything, Shiloh appears from the other side, jumps off the steps with a tope, taking Ricky out. As they go into picture-in-picture. Ricky gains control during the break, though, including some stomps. Maybe Ricky's excited about the Mortal Kombat 2 coming out because he kind of does the Liu Kang kicks in the corner here. Ricky eventually gets Shiloh into a sleeper, but Shiloh eventually gets out of that. So there's a spear from Ricky for a near fall. Shiloh eventually comes back with his pop-up forearm and the inverted standing senton. They're fighting up on the top rope, and this was a pretty cool moment in the match where Ricky hits not just a superplex, but almost an avalanche jackhammer here. And I thought that, and then as I was like, that kind of looked like a jackhammer. Booker T thought the same thing. He was like, yo, that was more of a power slam or a jackhammer off the top, which looked pretty impressive, but Shiloh kicked out. Shiloh's no small dude either, so that was a big task there. Ricky eventually smacks the tooth out of the mouth of Shiloh, revealing his Dumb and Dumber look there, and then goes for the rope walk pose. But Shiloh then tooths up. Whenever he gets the tooth knocked out, he starts to like
it's his Hulk up spot now, isn't it?
Yeah.
If his tooth gets lost, that's what like makes him see red.
Sure. Well, if you see red, he needs to be flossing more, I guess. But I mean, the tooth's already gone, so at this point. But he then crotches Ricky on the ropes there, and then they start to fight on the outside. But eventually, there's the Rochambeau, the running dominator from Ricky on the outside, rolls him back in, and then gets a chair, but the ref is like, hey, you can't use that, which allows a little bit of a distraction. And then Shiloh hits his finisher, the Whisper to the Beast, the back suplex into the neck breaker, and pins Ricky in the main event of NXT. Wow. Was this Ricky Saints NXT send-off?
I think so. Yeah. And everyone, it seems, everyone lost on their way out, didn't they, this time round, which they don't always do in NXT. But I think Shiloh's improving week after week. I think it's really coming together, and I thought he more than held his own in here against Ricky Saints, and I thought Ricky put in a shift here, like quite, he seemed to debut that tornado DDT that people aren't fond of because the Rochambeau, he can't really hit on the bigger guys, but Shiloh Hill's a big guy, and he hit that Rochambeau on the floor. As you said, that avalanche jackhammer. Like, I thought there was stuff Ricky was pulling out in this match, which was pretty impressive. And I think it is working with Shiloh Hill. He's got so much personality, and his wrestling's improving, and he is connecting with this audience. So, yeah, I thought this was... I don't necessarily want to see Shiloh competing for the NXT title anytime soon, but I think he's established himself as one of the, like, better people to come out of LFG.
Yeah, you know what? Like, the first few weeks, I definitely was like, I don't know about this, but I think he's improving. The wrestling, I think, from the beginning wasn't bad at all, considering compared to some of the other people we've seen over the years in NXT. But I think he's finding himself with whatever this dark web, smart, weird character thing. But I think since joining Tatum as this pairing has definitely helped in this thing. Just be the Undertaker in the graveyard, but Shiloh Hill and stuff. I noticed, speaking of the Undertaker, remember like months ago he tweeted Toothless Aggression, and we were all like, I don't know if we should be using that. Did you notice it cut to this girl in the crowd with the sign Toothless Aggression? So
okay,
I wonder if we
hey, like if our lady
20 years ago
are bringing back whatever, like it's time to reclaim some things. All right.
Toothless Aggression, Shiloh Hill. Yeah, maybe. I think this was Ricky's goodbye. Obviously, with him being announced for main roster and everything, it makes a whole lot of sense, and he would fit in perfectly in the main roster. I don't even think he needed NXT in the first place. But as Shiloh is celebrating his win here, it does cut to Shawn Michaels' office as Tony D'Angelo walks in, and he goes, "Oh, wow, they got one on me tonight, but I love the chaos," says Tony. And Shawn says, "Hey, well, you wanted this. You're champion, and you got to prove you're champion." And Tony says, "Let's fucking go." He must be a big fan of LFG because half the people who showed up are from that show. But NXT ends, and there you go. Yeah. The new era of NXT with, 6 debuts? Something like that.
So we had Evil. We had Cam, what's his face?
Newton. What?
Cam Newton. We had the Fan. We had the English bloke, the like pretty deadly English bloke.
Pretty deadly good, yeah.
We had the
Tate Wilder. Can't forget Tate Wilder.
Forgot about him.
5. Lizzy Rain.
6. And then a returning Sean Legacy, a returning Mr. Iguana. Yeah, there's a lot going on. And new hair for Tavion Heights, so 9.
Oh, Cornrow Tavion.
Yeah.
So that counts as 8, I guess, debuts tonight. Wow, NXT is changing. The new era of NXT. You know what? I like this episode. So new stuff It's what I've been waiting for. You know, we've said a few weeks ago when it was like, oh no, NXT is going to be rough the next few weeks because it's like, who do we even have once we've lost some of our people? But this is exactly what I want to see. I want to see new signings right away. What I personally want to see and like seeing are more of these people coming from wrestling backgrounds, indie wrestling from all over the world. I love to see it show up in NXT. So I'm all for it. And I thought this was a refreshing episode of NXT. It was chaotic. It was a chaotic NXT Degrassi, but I liked it for the right reasons.
I really enjoyed this show, and I thought some of the wrestling was good. I enjoyed the main event. I loved the Wren Kelani match. I thought that tag match was a lot of fun. The debut of Lizzy Rain I thought was impressive. Solid episode. Like, it felt like a breath of fresh air this week, and some much needed debuts. And I had fun with this week's episode for sure.
With all the news of the releases in WWE and NXT, and then they do an episode where it's almost like, look, the reason is because we need the new blood. We need the new stuff. So it almost reminded me of why this show exists. This is the purpose of this show. Get rid of the things that aren't working. If it doesn't work and it keeps not working, then cut and move and get new people in. Get people from the UK. Get people from all over the place who have wrestling experience and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then cut bait again and do it again. And that's what this show needs to be. So that is a step in the right direction with some of these people. So we'll see what happens next week with some of these debuts. Evil, maybe he's going to bring some friends from Japan to NXT as well. Who knows? Maybe some more debuts. But I think definitely they've heard the cries of, hey, the men's roster has just been coasting and loafing. And finally, we're getting an injection, new blood in NXT, and I'm all for it. So yeah, thumbs up this week on NXT. I liked it. Evil. NXT is evil. That's what we thought. If you agree, disagree, let us know in the chat. We're live right now on Post Wrestling. Do we have any feedback from this episode?
I can see one from Sean McTeer asking us who of the new signings we're most excited about.
I don't know. Lizzy Rain? That was a pretty cool debut. I liked seeing her. Evil again wasn't always one of my favorites, but that is still pretty interesting. But I'm gonna go with the Shane Gillis dude in the hoodie hitting this moonsault. Okay. I have no idea who that is. I have no idea who he is. So like, cool. I go with him.
I like that moonsault looked great, and I think just out of curiosity, Evil. Like, just see, it's just weird to like, we've seen him for so long in New Japan.
Yeah,
just
it is.
See what he's like in this setting, and especially that we didn't particularly like him there. If he'll change our mind. People have changed our mind in the past. So, yeah, we'll see. We do have a super chat as well in the chat.
Okay.
From Sino. Thank you, Sino. Welcome back. He says, have you seen Michael? I was shocked to realize Michael Myers played an unrecognizable role. He did again. I think he's talking about the Michael Jackson movie.
I literally was supposed to go last night, and I was just too tired. I've been practicing running upstairs for the last 2 days. So nice. I was literally like, I'm going to fall asleep in the theater. So I didn't. I am planning on going tomorrow night. So I do want to see it. But like the Hulk Hogan documentary, I heard they omit just a lot of stuff that maybe...
I'm not really interested, to be honest. I don't really like biopics. I never think they're particularly very good. And
the problem is, it's gonna be like what's the Queen one? Like, it looks like that. It's like all fluff. Yeah, it's all like cool. Like, I can still appreciate it. I am a huge Michael Jackson fan, so I do feel like I owe it to myself to go watch it. So I am planning on seeing it tomorrow. But I'm hearing some mixed things. Like, if you're a fan, of course you're gonna like it and stuff. But I did want some of the other side of it, but obviously that's not going to be in the movie. I'm waiting for part 2. Does Janet Jackson show up at the end like a Marvel movie and be like, we need to, like, is the sequel where he's white? Like, I don't know. I haven't watched it yet, but I need to, I guess, before I can give my 2 cents on it. But thank you, Cito. Thank you for that. I will check it out. I'll give you my thoughts coming soon. But there you go. That was us talking about some NXT and a whole lot more. If you like what you hear, check out Poisonrana.ca for links of all the other stuff that we do. Poison Rana Pod. We're on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Give us a follow and check out all the other stuff we do. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Facebook, there's a Facebook group you can join. We won't go live this Sunday. We will be back next Tuesday after NXT. All the fallout from tonight's big episode with all the debuts. Maybe Evil will have something to say next week. But give us a follow to keep updated with all the other shows. Maybe, just maybe, we'll convince John Way, Jesse, and Jack to do some sort of Snap Rana post CN Tower climb pod on the go this Sunday. So follow for that. But appreciate everyone out there in the post wrestling universe. Can't do this without you. All the NXT friends appreciate you wherever you are. That is it. That is all. Take care. Goodbye and be safe.
Ahoy!